Example of something that you should do that you don't really want to do, that when it comes up it takes you out of the vortex?
I have a project due Monday. It's Saturday. Matter of fact, I promised, so I want to definitely do it. I don't know when I'll do it because I have 2 more days, and then between 12 a.m. and 8 a.m. to deliver the project. And so should I do it today? Should I just chill?
Well, here's the way we would look at that. If you've decided, and you said you have, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I made a commitment. I'm going to do it. And not doing it feels awful. So you want to do it. So our presentation to you would be, since you've decided to do it, why not decide to get into the vortex so you can do it well? Why do a crappy project from outside the vortex when you could do a sublime project from inside the vortex? But don't get your cart before your horse. Get in the vortex
first.
Get in the vortex
first. Okay.
So and it's not a difficult thing. So now let's do a focus wheel on this project. So here's this thing I got to do. I don't really want to do it. I don't feel like doing it, but I need to do it. I have to do it. I'm supposed to do it. I don't want to do it. That's outside the vortex. So now let's look at it from inside the vortex, where source is. How does source feel about this? What are you writing in the center?
I feel it's an opportunity for creativity. Like sometimes when I take the clients out of the picture and just look at the project in itself, it's an opportunity to express creativity. And that feels good.
I love getting tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and applying the fullness of myself to a project. And I've done that enough that anything short of that feels terrible. And I'm sort of an all or nothing person. I've found that about myself. When I'm in the vortex, I flow like crazy. And when I'm not, I don't.
Yeah, some clients, they may order a small project, and I'm just so tuned in, tapped in, turned on, that I end up putting 4 times the amount of service just because I'm having fun in it.
So the statement that you're putting in the center of this wheel is, I love the creativity that flows from me. I love the creativity that this project will draw through me once I'm in the vortex. Let's make it better. I love the feeling of who I really am flowing toward this project.
That's good.
So now, what can you say that you already believe that matches, I love the feeling of the fullness of me flowing toward the project? In fact, it doesn't even really matter what the project is. I just love the fullness of me flowing toward it. What do you know that matches that?
That I have a lot of resources that assist me in making this process very easy.
That's sort of like saying I should be doing better.
Reconstruct.
Exactly. I know what it feels like to flow.
Yeah, creativity comes easily once I get in the vortex.
Yeah, I felt it so many times. I love it. I'm addicted to that feeling of alignment. And when I'm not in alignment, I don't even want to go. So my feelings of procrastination are really well placed, because why make the effort until I'm in the vortex?
Because the project's really not hard. It's just the
But
time.
think about that. Think about what we just said.
Yeah.
We're giving you the benefit of the doubt. We're really giving you a way to give yourself a break here. It isn't wrong for me to balk or feel procrastination when I'm not in the vortex. That's the most logical thing in the world. I'm so used to the power of the universe flowing through me that there's no point of me making any effort at all until the power of the universe is flowing through me. And I think that might be one of the reasons that I wait until the last minute, because the last minute, the crisis, sort of makes me focus. And when I focus, the energy flows. So that's why I've learned, it's why I've got this sort of pattern going where I can lay back and lay back and lay back. I feel guilty, so it's not really fun laying back. But I lay back and lay back and lay back and lay back. But then when push comes to shove, I focus. I get in the vortex and powerful things flow through me. It's sort of been my pattern. Yes?
Completely. I'm guilty.
So now So now I can do it that way if I want to, but maybe I want to give myself a little more ease. So now in those days leading up to the crises ensuing, I'm not going to let it be a crisis. I'm going to say, I'm not doing that now because I don't need to focus on it now. Now I'm going to the gym. I'm not doing it now because I don't need to focus on it now. Now I'm going to Starbucks. I don't need to do it now because I don't need to focus on it now. Now I'm getting in the vortex. Now I'm having a nice time. Now I'm having a massage. Now I'm taking a walk. Now I'm doing whatever. And when it's time, I will focus on that. And when I focus on that project, it will flow through me. So you're putting ease into your experience during the time that you're not doing it, rather than beating yourself about the head and neck with a club that I should be harder after.
Yeah, because when it feels like it's time to do it, it feels like it's time to do it.
Of course, because then you're in the vortex and everything has been lined up and you become one of the cooperative components. Here's one more piece we want to give you to give yourself the benefit of the doubt even more. Somebody already said something like this here today. It feels way too easy, she said. It feels way too easy. It seems too simple. This getting in the vortex and letting the resources of source flow through me seems too simple. It's almost too simple for me to believe. And that's why you've convinced yourself that it takes a lot more effort to achieve these things than it really takes. And when you convince yourself that it takes a lot more effort than it really does, and that's crossways of what the source within you knows, then you don't get the inspiration. So if you would start saying things like, I've got so much time to bask in the deliciousness of my life, and when I need to focus, the resources are always there, and I can accomplish everything that I need to do in such focused, narrow frame of time that I'm really good. I have plenty of time to be who I am. In fact, I'm living the way Abraham has been encouraging all of us to live. I'm spending most of my time getting in the vortex, and then I'm letting that inspired time flow through me for the creation of something.
I agree with you, because it's easy in the vortex, and if you try to do it outside the vortex, it feels cumbersome.
And it never turns out well.
And so therefore, get in the vortex. Yeah.
And so, but see, this is where you were headed with this, and this is really, really a good thought. You were right on it, and then we interrupted you a bit. This is where you were headed with that. It's easy when I get in the vortex, and I've lived that enough that I know it. So now when I'm not in the vortex, I can't make myself go through the effort, because the larger part of me knows that why bother until I get in the vortex.
I'll just end up just sitting in front of the computer all day.
So what you're waiting for is inspiration to be in the vortex. And formerly, what's been the inspiration is the crisis that will ensue if you don't get in. In other words, you've sort of been motivating your way into the vortex. Jerry laughs at Esther because they signed the book contract for the book that they finished Wednesday in Albuquerque a year ago. And Esther is she sets a little time aside and sets a little time aside and sets a little time aside. But 97.5% of the book was written in the last week. Because the deadline was April 15th. And Esther says, hey, I admit it. I've been doing a lot of other things. Sometimes she gets defensive. I haven't had time. I haven't had time to do it. You're dragging me all over the country. You make me drive the bus. But what it really comes down to is, unless she's in alignment, in other words, Abraham cannot write a book through her unless she's in a place of clear allowing of it, you see? And the same thing is true with all of you. You make way too much of things. In other words, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would announce to everyone, most of the time, it's not going to appear to you like I'm doing anything productive. Because I'm not going to be heavy into action at all. But what I am doing is preparing myself vibrationally for the vortex in which all things culminate.
That feels so good.
And when I step there with clarity, you're going to notice, because the seas will part for me and amazing things will happen, you see. And so this whole conversation and the clarity that we were pointing out that you would come to, that you weren't quite ready to speak, here's what you were about to say. I have felt the power of being in the vortex so profoundly that it feels like not even making the effort unless I'm in there. And now what's happened for you here today is a determination to be in the vortex is your strongest desire. That's what we wish for all of you. We want you to say things like, nothing's more important than that I feel good. For nothing's more important that I'm in the vortex, in vibrational alignment with all that I've become. And when you are, things will unfold for you. But here's the rub in this. You're not going to look like a very busy person, because you're not making it happen through your action. So as a result, all of the people outside of the vortex are going to condemn you because your life is too easy. They're not going to like you because you're not paying the price. You're not struggling nearly hard enough. And you have to decide, are you looking to them for approval, or are you looking for your alignment inside the vortex?
That was beautiful. Thank you.